Hello everyone and welcome to Faithful to the Traitors, where we are discussing the Traitors Ireland Series 1 episode 5. Are we on 5?
We are
I think
on 5.
we are.
Channel 5?
No, sadly
Piers Morgan
not.
wouldn't be seen dead on Channel 5.
No, only losers.
Only losers
at the end of their
on
career.
Channel 5, yeah.
No, we're talking about RTE. I am your host, Ben. What's happening with your hands?
I don't know. I can't place my hands anywhere. You know when you
Why?
when you know, I don't know. You know when you're having a conversation with someone and you're talking to them, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, where are my hands going? Mm-hmm. That's where I am right now. Hello, hi everyone. I'm Alex.
RuPaul has a thing about that, about where to put your hands on the red carpet.
Oh, yeah, you've got to stand like that, don't you?
Yeah.
As if you're holding like a tiny little piece of rice.
And then put your tongue to the top of your throat to get your jawline going.
Top of your throat? How long's
well,
your
the
tongue?
top of your mouth, sorry.
No wonder you were popular when you were younger, Ben. Wink.
Yes, well, that's what they say. So
shall I? Well, before we get into it, and I encourage everyone to do this because this episode has been, I mean, mind blown. But before we watched the episode, I saw a few comments. I try to avoid spoilers because we watch it after the matter. But
we're not in Ireland.
Because we're not in Ireland. You couldn't tell. We're not in Ireland. But lots of people said this is going to blow your socks off. This episode is just incredible. And so I went in with good intentions, hoping it was going to be good. And my God, it was good. So we need to hear from you guys as well. What did you think of the episode? What are you thinking about the Traitors Ireland so far? For me, excellent series. Excellent series. So you can comment underneath our videos if you're watching us on YouTube or on Spotify. If you're listening to us, you can also comment on any of your favourite podcast apps, or you can get in touch with us on any of our social medias. All the links are on our link tree, linktr.ee/faithful2. All the information's on there. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and do all the good stuff. Give us a 5-star rating if you enjoy listening to the podcast as well. And if you want to help us with the podcast, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful or coff.ee/faithful, and on there you can give us £5, which is the equivalent of a gold coin, funnily enough, on Traitors, and that helps us with the podcast and do all the good stuff that you see around or listen around you in audio, stereo, mono, incredible,
3D,
4X,
right?
Doritos.
Keep going.
Do you remember Doritos 3D? They were
Yes.
nice. They were good. That was a good time in my life.
I didn't like
the
them.
late 90s. Of course you didn't. You're probably responsible for why they got cancelled.
Do you remember when ketchup was like purple and had different colours? But it was still ketchup.
They did the different colour ketchup. Yeah, they had the green ketchup.
Very unpopular. My mum was really upset when I wanted it and bought it.
Yeah, did you eat it? Did it
so.
taste the same?
I think so.
Ketchup?
It's just, why was it purple?
Catsup. Well, it's to encourage kids to eat ketchup, but I don't know why kids need to be encouraged to eat ketchup, because it's sweet and delicious and goes with everything.
Odd times.
What a time to be alive. Right.
That was a similar time to when Sunny D was popular, so it was just an odd time in the
Have
world.
you had Sunny D recently? It's awful.
No.
I thought I'd try it just to
I haven't
see
had any D.
how I remembered. Well, whose fault's that? Yours. Look, we don't need to go into our personal lives here. That's for another day, perhaps.
Okay.
But you know whose life we do need to delve into? Whose brain? I'll tell you what. If I was a brain surgeon and they said to me, "Which brain would you like to look at the day this person dies?" Obviously, I won't murder them, but if they died, whose brain would you like to investigate and just delve into it and try to work out exactly why they are the way they are? 100%, I would say. Please hand me Pauldy's brain, because my goodness me, Pauldy is he an evil genius, or is he just fell into luck? Is he actually the most incredibly greatest, one of the greatest players of the Traitors ever? Because how is he getting away with revealing all this information that's being talked about in the conclave? It's quite clever. Think about it. It's a genius plan. But it's quite clever, because Pauldy is saying all these things that they're talking about in the conclave. Eamon, he did it with Caitlin for 2 episodes in a row. Did it with Eamon this episode. And the thing is, Eamon and Caitlin can't fight it back, because the only way they can...
But it doesn't make Pauldy look good either, though.
Yeah, but the only way they can kind of like resist it and say like, oh, no, is either bluffing and saying, I don't know why Pauldy's saying that, he's lying, and you literally have to lie to the other players and make it look convincing, or say, yeah, I did say that, but not add the caveat of, but in a private area in the conclave when we're voting people to murder. It's just insane. Paulie is insane.
It is. It's just every conversation on this episode between the three traitors was just ridiculous, because they have to have these conversations where they're pretending it's about a conversation that happened in a kitchen when it happened in a conclave. They have to pretend they're faithful but not traitors, and talking about things that other faithful should know but traitors shouldn't know. So they're kind of lying upon lie upon lie on their conversation, where they're trying to veil what they're saying. But then Paulie then will turn around and go, well, when did you say that? Sorry. And then, but then he'll also say like the wrong name as well by accident. And then like Eamon talks to Paulie on the pretense that they're talking about a plan to help him, when actually he wants him and Caitlin to double cross Paulie. And it's just like there's so many layers that the lies, everything becomes nonsense. And then you also have Paulie on top of that, where he's kind of just a bit confused.
Yeah, but is Paulie confused?
Yes.
Is Paulie confused, or is he just playing the most ridiculously evil game? Like,
just
he
a
knows
mess.
Exactly what he's doing.
He's nearly broken the format of the traitors on this episode.
I love him. Every time Eamon says, you said something, Paulie goes, oh, no, I didn't say that. And then Eamon says, yes, you did. Da, 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 da. And then later on in the conversation, Eamon then says, like, right, so we're going to do this. And Paulie's like, yeah, I know, I said that. And Eamon said, but you just said you never said that, Paulie.
Eamon was losing his rag on this one, because he tried to do it a few times on this episode. But like and Caitlin just gives up. She just goes,
Caitlin don't care.
You know what? I'm going to step out of this conversation, because you're not talking about the shield. Because like they're pretending they're talking about the shield when they're not. And it's just like, and Caitlin literally goes, you're not talking about the shield anymore, are you? So I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
She goes and leaves them two to just
hash it out.
Yeah, but Paulie doesn't help, because he goes, oh yeah, Patrick. No, not Patrick. Sorry, this. Oh no, I didn't mean that. I meant this. Oh no, at the conclave. No, I meant in the kitchen. And that confuses things even more.
Because Paulie, I think
so none of it makes sense.
Is Paulie confused, or is he playing the
he's confused
elderly person card?
Both.
We've all seen it before. Is Eamon being smart here? Is Eamon like?
Eamon.
No, sorry, Eamon.
So you're
Paulie.
doing it now.
I know, but Paulie's. I'm learning from the master, Paulie, because Eamon went up to Paulie at the beginning of the episode with an olive branch to say, "Listen."
Yeah, but it wasn't though. That's the thing. That's what I mean. It's a double lie, because it wasn't. He wanted to. He said to Caitlin, "Let's pretend we're going to put Patrick under the bus, make him think we're voting for Patrick, but actually we're not." But Eamon wanted Paulie to think it was an olive branch. But then Eamon didn't bank on the fact that Paulie was then confused by that conversation already. That's why it was such a mess.
But that's what's so funny about it, because Eamon went with the
this is
facade.
An olive branch. Let me help you.
Let me help you, Paulie.
Wink, wink, Caitlin. I'm not helping you.
Yeah.
Let's fool Paulie. Paulie then gets confused.
Yeah, but then Paulie was like, it's like Paulie knew though. Like Paulie, but then it's like, I don't need your help.
Oh, he doesn't trust them, does he?
He doesn't. No, that's the point. You hit the nail on the head. Paulie doesn't trust them.
And you have to have then the layer of that he trusts his son Andrew, where Eamon says, Andrew said your name. Paulie's like, no, he didn't say my name because he's my son, which is also another secret that Eamon and Thingy don't know about. But Andrew did say Paulie's name. But then Paulie goes to Andrew, which is being said to Andrew and Eamon in private. It's just... everything's a mess because there's too many lies. Look, there's too many layers here. Layers of lies.
The point is that Paulie is using conversations which are private in the conclave, not private outside the conclave. They're in the conclave, so they're between traitors amongst themselves. He's using those conversations as ammo to get his fellow players confused. Out. No, but this is it. He's not. This is my point. Is Paulie deliberately throwing confusion over the group because it makes it a more difficult
I think he's tagged on to the fact that the conversations that happen in the conclave confuses the traitors when they're trying to do him over. That's what he did at the round table with Eamon. He said, well, tell me where I said that. Because knowing the fact that it was in the conclave, and that's what it tripped Eamon up, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm getting a bit confused now."
But that's exactly the point.
He's doing that on purpose. He knows that is a way out because it happened with Caitlin the day before.
A clever plan because Paulie knows what it is. If you think about it, because Paulie knows that Caitlin and Eamon cannot say that they had that conversation in the conclave. They cannot say that because it immediately shows them up as being the traitors,
which it has done thanks to Oyen. the saviour.
We'll talk about Oyen right in a second. But the funny thing is, someone got in touch with us on our TikTok. Don't forget, Linktree, linktr.ee/faithful2. You can find our TikTok link on there. Clan got in touch with us, and they said that Eamon on the after show, Uncloaked, because in Ireland they have the after show on, that Eamon was quite bitter about his eviction from the show, his banishment from the show, because of the way Paul D was playing. So, like, I mean, is Eamon upset because he got caught out and that Eamon was smarter than him?
He's probably annoyed because it was Paul D's game to lose, let's be honest. Like, he should have been voted out 2 episodes ago, really. And, you know, out of the 3 traitors, Eamon thought he was ruling the roosts, and he was the first one to be banished. And rarely, round that round table, if people were smart, they could have easily gone for Paul D. Because it was so obvious. They almost did.
He got the second most votes. He only lost out by 3.
Well, Joanne...
Well, Joe is
keeps doing this.
Joe is an idiot, yeah.
She throws her vote twice now. She's thrown her vote.
She for Andrew.
Yes, because you're a faithful. So it's like, no, don't throw your vote. Especially when it's an obvious one like this. Like, there's multiple choices here where you could
go
pick
one
a
way
name.
or another.
And I'm a bit surprised people aren't picking up on Joanne throwing votes and being like, well, maybe you're a traitor then. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't throw votes. That's not... Because
she's openly admitting that she's...
to have votes, Joanne. We fought.
The suffragettes fought for you to have this vote at the
so
round
don't
table.
throw it away. They're very important.
But no, I agree. I think, Joe, don't waste a vote, because this was...
Especially one on a round table like this.
This was a conversation, a heated conversation between Paul D and Eamon, and you should have listened to what was being said between them and then made your decision, not just be like, oh, I don't really know, so I'm going to vote Andrew. Joanne's obviously playing a very safe game. She's trying to stay underneath the radar.
Well, that's a contestant who can be murdered overnight.
But her name never comes up in the conclave.
That's what I mean. This is the funny thing. She's priming herself up to be an easy murder by doing this, so watch out. Yeah,
but she's just kind of fluffing Paul D a little bit by not voting for him. Maybe she's playing the Nick card here and knows... almost convinced that Paul D and Eamon were traitors, so instead of voting for them, she's kind of playing them. Well, look, I didn't vote for you. So
that was the other thing that was coming out, wasn't it? It was you've talked about Andrew, you've talked about Eamon, and then there was the Nick situation with the Paul D stuff. So
when Nick was very
there was
upset,
just so many
many facets,
and I think that's really what tipped Eamon just over getting voted out, rather than Paul D was the Nick, because he found out that he told Paul D what Nick said to him, and Nick was like, well, why would you say that? When did you say that? Oh, the conclave, one of those again. So
Nick, basically, because Eamon had been caught out on an out-and-out lie, because when Eamon was confronted by Nick afterwards of whether he said anything to Paul D, Eamon first of all said, no. Yeah, but think about, why would Paul D say that? And Nick quite rightly said, you're not answering the question, Mr. Politician here. You're not answering the question. And so then Eamon had to admit, yes, I did say that.
And there's no reason for him to say it.
Well, but Eamon then tried to say that the reason he said it was because he wanted to see what reaction Nick would have at the round table, which was a bit weak. And so then at the round table, Nick then said, look, Eamon, I got on board with your theory about Paul D 2 round tables ago. I was ready to back you on it, but you've lied to me once, and now I cannot, with a good faith, but not vote for you this time round. And he openly said, I'm going to vote for you this time round.
That's what I mean when I say...
Paul D, I swear, that's what evil genius.
When I say he's almost broken the format of the traitors, this round table showed it, because I think pretty much everyone, and Oyen was the one who said it, was maybe this is 3 traitors, Caitlin, Eamon and Paul D.
Oyen was insane.
I think people know there's 3 traitors. Those are the 3 traitors.
Yeah. She named each one. Sorry.
Paul D was making Caitlin and Eamon have to lie about every single conversation that happened in the conclave happening somewhere else, where people... It almost broke the format of the show, because they were half a word away from saying... I'm a traitor. All of this happened in the conclave. It was so close to breaking the game that it's just very worrying. The fact that Paul D was the one that survived was just...
Well, and Paul D is gloating over it now, because when they were back at the conclave later on, but it was just Caitlin and Paul D. Caitlin, it's almost like the roles reversed. Like a couple of episodes ago, we said Paul D was in there just kind of looking a bit tired and like, I don't want to be here anymore. Now Caitlin was in the exact same way. I think she felt like she lost her ally. She felt like her and Eamon were going to be the two strongest going forward. Eamon, for some miracle, ended up being the one voted off. And Paudie, he was a cock of the walk. He knew what he had done, and he even, almost with a boastful behaviour, said to Caitlin, "Is like, he betrayed me and he lost. Let that be a lesson to you." And Caitlin's like, should I be scared of you, Paudie? I'm not actually sure. I'm beginning to see, we've talked about the home life between Andrew and Paudie before. I'm beginning to see this home life really develop here with Paudie. I'm sorry. I do not think Paudie is that ignorant. I think he is playing the character of someone who doesn't understand. I think Paudie is more clever, I'm not going to say cleverer, more clever than he's letting himself shown to be. I don't know. He's just, there's something about him.
I think the game has suddenly clicked, like after he got the thing with him and Caitlin like 2 episodes ago. I think from then he's learned, hold on a minute, these people, he called Eamon a traitor to the faithful and traitor to the traitors. I think he's worked out, actually, no, these people aren't for me, and I can do things to stop their conversations by doing the conclave secret conversation things and just openly saying everything.
But they've never done that
to
before.
Everyone.
This is the point. It's never been used as a weapon. It's never, conversations between the traitors in the conclave or in the Torah or whatever has never been used as a weapon against other people before. Paudie, whether meaningful or not, is doing that. And, you're saying that it's kind of pointing a finger of blame at him. Yes, it is. But somehow he's able to kind of swerve it. And that's what's so fascinating by it.
I'm wondering if the faithful are thinking, well, he's clearly a traitor, but he's a traitor which is giving us hints at other traitors, so let's just keep him in, because he'll just keep dropping hints and telling us who traitors are inadvertently.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm wondering if they're doing a bit like that, because Caitlin had her name, because Christine brought Caitlin up straight away at the round table, and there's a few people who are suspicious of her.
Although Christine's reasons are really weak.
I know, they weren't very good, were they? She was like, I want to get this out really quickly right at the start. And then she said her reasons. It was like, you took the blindfold off and looked around.
And you made a gesture.
Yeah, and it's like, well...
And you lied about the shield in the game in the last episode.
Like, well,
and
so
Caitlin was like, yeah, exactly. Caitlin was like, I've already explained that to you on both those counts. And then Caitlin, actually quite clever, again, Caitlin, very smart. She said, if you go back to my voting history and see who I voted for, I've been voting for Paudie when everyone else jumped on the bandwagon and went for Linda or went for Nina or went for, whoever. I never went. I was always strong with my convictions for Paudie.
And she voted Wilkin once because she was suspicious. Like,
Yes.
She explained all her things and they did hug at the end. So I don't know if that's kind of over or if that was fake or not.
Nick
I don't know.
did a yes. Which
Amy jumped up and down.
Yeah, they were screaming.
Yes. We also can't forget as well, we've lost John, by the way, everyone.
Oh yeah, sorry, John went.
John was murdered.
I mean, we expected it, and although a lot of them kept saying like, "Oh, this is foul play. This is awful. What a disgusting thing to do," we knew John was gone.
Yeah,
it was a shame.
It was what it was, but it was funny at the round table because I'm going. I have to mention John. That's John Dunn, firefighter. Good, gone. At the round table, like Siobhan was like, right, final word for someone to say. Normally that means someone says a few words, but the final word went on for ages because Wilkin piped up with a theory about someone. Again, who was it? It was Kelly.
Patrick and Kelly.
Yeah, because their maths.
Because he said that the traitors knew, in the game, the traitors knew what the code for the chest was to get the €2,000. And Patrick and Kelly, supposedly, when they were running from the boat to the chest or doing the board to do the maths, were reading out the number that ended up being the code, supposedly. But because Wilkin himself then said, but I don't really know if that actually happened. I'm not sure. And then that's what brought Amy forward and said, look, Wilkin, I've noticed recently that you come up with these really weird reasons just for almost to have an excuse to talk at the round table, and then never with any conviction or strength behind
it almost turned to then voting Wilkin then. I thought, you should have just not said anything. like after that round table, I think just leave your theories to tomorrow, because he tried to throw in this random maths theory with Patrick and Kelly, and it almost turned to votes to him all of a sudden. So don't butt in with things when it's not needed after a roundtable like that. Like, it's fairly obvious where things are going.
It's funny when things happen like that, when there's been a heated debate on the roundtable. They put, they showed pretty much supposedly the whole conversation between Paul D and Eamon, having this big argument between them. The whole round, everyone, like the jovialness of the roundtable, which there's always kind of lingering been these last few episodes, that had gone on this episode. There was a real the atmosphere could be cut with a knife on this round table, because everyone was like kind of looking at each other going like, oh my god, what is happening here? That's
what I mean. They were working it out.
And Wilkin,
all of them,
as you said, didn't need to pipe up. But this was Wilkin's opportunity to kind of say nothing.
Just leave it a day.
Just leave it.
The same as Christine with her. Kate, I mean, she went first, so I suppose she didn't know, but hers felt a bit flat as well after all of this, because all of the stuff was going on beforehand in that room with Eamon and Nick and everything. Like, do you know what I mean? Just let them. That was
let it settle.
Let
it brew for a little bit. Let the group think about what had happened. Yeah. The only person who I think had any substance and something useful to say, as we mentioned, was Oyen. God, good for you, Oyen.
My favourite.
I swear, I didn't have a lot of hope for Oyen. I thought, God, she's just wandering in this game. And then the first one to pipe up and say, guys, you not notice it's always Caitlin, Eamon and Paudie. They're always the three that seem to stir up the trouble.
And when she said it, the whole group was like, something clicked in all of them, and they were like, oh, wait a minute, yes, yes, everything makes sense now. So
it's a fight between those three. They're free traitors. So I like you said, I believe that the next three roundtables, Paudie, then Caitlin, they're gone.
I mean, I think Paudie and Caitlin were smart because Eamon went, that means there's two traitors left, so they had the option to seduce or murder. I think the best and only option is to seduce, because it kind of helps. It's like a slight reset on the game then, and their names are out there, so they may as well just reset the game, and now everyone can be a suspect again if Nick accepts it.
Nick's name was the one that got brought up.
Yeah, Nick or Andrew.
Or Andrew. Paudie was very quick to bring Andrew into the
she was
equation.
Like, was like, no. So I think he wanted Andrew. So in his mind, him and Andrew can get rid of Kate. Yeah, and then they can work together to the final. That's what he wanted. But Caitlin was a bit like, no, Nick's better as a traitor. He's more
Nick was better because he's got an influence in the game. He was able to influence the round table.
Also, is it not a bit silly doing Nick? Because it's been publicly said that Nick thinks that the only reason he's still here is because of Paudie being a traitor.
Well, it depends.
Is that not a bit
It depends
silly?
What Paudie and Caitlin are planning to do with Nick as a traitor. Are they planning to basically throw him under the bus now and say,
they don't
like,
trust each other though? Because Caitlin said, "Oh, can I be honest with you?" I can't remember what she said, but she said something, and Paudie was like, "Do you mind if I don't believe you?"
Yeah,
and she was like, "Yeah, that's fine." It's like, okay.
Oh no, Caitlin and Paudie are going to be like sour partners with one another now. They're going to work if they work together. It's going to be begrudgingly, and by the time they get to the final, I don't think that money's going to get split. But
I think we'll have a whole new traitor cast by then.
But I think if Caitlin and Paudie's plan is to get Nick on board and then throw him under the bus, then they've got a little bit of back history they can use there. Like, for instance, he was the one who pushed Eamon. So you could argue that Nick kind of lit the fire between Paudie and Eamon and then sat back and watched it burn. Caitlin could kind of put that seed into people's minds.
She could say they're the two. Nick and Paudie have always been traitors, maybe, and get herself innocent. Do you think he'll accept, though?
I don't know.
Or do you think he's a bit too smart to accept?
Do you think he shouldn't accept then? Because I think if Nick was to accept and he played it well, and if Nick did nothing and let Paudie and Caitlin carry on their feud between each other, Nick is in a stronger position than you think.
I don't know. It's everyone struggles becoming faithful to traitor halfway through, don't they? Although I suppose it's not too close to the final, so they could.
There's still a lot of time to go. Yeah. We're not even halfway yet. So Nick's being recruited quite early on in the game. It's normally when they're like in the last two episodes.
I wonder if he's the type of player that will revel in it. He feels like that
100%.
Type, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. He would love being a traitor. He loves being a faithful. He just basically loves being correct. You can tell Nick likes being right, and Nick likes having the upper hand.
Could you trust him as a traitor, though? Could Paudie trust him?
No, because Nick will throw. I think Nick, as I say, if Nick was smart enough, get Caitlin and Paudie out, Nick would then, in his mind, be king traitor, and then he can recruit his brand new team. Yeah. But I mean,
Faye, main character.
I was about to say, let's play devil's advocate here. Say Caitlin and Paudie do go out now. Nick does take the recruitment. What do you think his new traitor team would be? Who would his three be? I think
Well, I'd
Mark.
personally pick Ben and Andrew,
Well, yes,
but that's for other reasons.
that's for other reasons to be in the conclave, isn't it? That conclave would be a mess. You'd have to get cleaners in.
I
After
would
you there.
pick. Who would I pick?
Who would Nick pick? Not who you would pick.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to say something random like Amy. Like, she's very out. Like, no one's talking about her. No one suspects her.
She brought up Wilkin.
Could she be a good traitor? Maybe like faithful turned traitor.
Maybe.
People would never suspect her.
But she's a bit quiet. No one seems to say anything about her. Who was it? Who everyone said was definitely. Oh, Andrew. Joe said Andrew was definitely a faithful. So Andrew actually would be a good pick. As long as he could play. I mean, I'd love to see Andrew be a traitor to see if he plays the game very similar to his dad. Like, if
He'd probably
picked up
throw his
those
dad
same
under the
traits.
bus, wouldn't he? Even if he was a traitor, he'd still throw his dad under the bus.
Oh, 100%. But like, would Andrew play a similar game to his dad? Would Andrew have him still play a
No, he
confused
kept telling
state?
his dad to shush. Did you hear it at the round table? Because he kept interrupting.
Oh, Paul,
that was really
me for
annoying
that,
when he
yeah.
kept interrupting. But he was doing it on purpose, intimidating tactics there. But
Who he's doing it so Eamon kept losing his track of thought. What Eamon should have done.
But everyone was getting annoyed at him. Like, everyone was going, shush, stop it, just let him talk. But
Distraction.
Andrew,
Paudy, again, distraction. He was doing it on purpose. See? Smart
Andrew
cookie.
almost said, Dad, shush,
Daddy.
stop it.
Daddy, quiet, Daddy.
So,
I want to
yeah.
open my Christmas present in peace.
He was annoying all of them, but Andrew kept saying to him, just shush.
But that's a good point you were saying about Paudy was playing it as a tactic. See, this is what I mean. I think we're underestimating Paudy. I think he's a smarter cookie than he's playing the, I'm Paudy. I'm elderly. I've just retired from being a prison guard. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and put my slippers on. But inside, there's a mind there, a mind of an evil genius, a Jeff Bezos style mind. I'm telling you, if Jeff Bezos hadn't started Amazon, Paudy would have started it before him. He just didn't come with the idea quick enough, or he forgot about it, like when he heard about it. But no, honestly, the way Paudy was interrupting everyone on the round table, that really, really wound me up. And what Eamon should have done is he should have just taken a deep breath and then carried on. But unfortunately, you could see the fire in his eyes.
He'd had it beforehand and at the round table, so he was losing his temper and he lost the battle. So he was gone.
But has he lost the war?
Yes, because he's banished.
So Nick's dream team for me would be Mark. I think Nick would recruit Mark, and I think he would recruit Andrew. I think there would be the two Nick would. That should be blue, by the way. Nick would recruit. So Ben's playing with the graphics on the screen, and he's done the wrong colour. So,
All right, Paul D.
But yes, I'm trying to distract you. But I think Andrew, because he's such a good faithful, and Mark, because I think Mark's a clever game player. He's just not had an opportunity to show it just yet.
No, I'd get someone random like Amy or Oyen or something. Like someone who's just not on anyone's radar.
I don't think Oyen would accept
Anyway, what I was saying about Faye earlier, her main
so-
character storyline that we've been pitching ourselves, Siobhan asked her to take down the picture on the wall. Out of all the contestants, there's people who are taller than Faye. She asked Faye, why did you ask her out of everyone?
Because her eyes
Why
are just
Faye?
her eyes are just drawn toward Faye.
Main character.
That's what I mean.
Climb the ladder, you're going to be the presenter of series 2. She's handing over the torch.
If you had one of those aura cameras, you would see that Faye's aura would be a beautiful glow, while Eamon's would be a red fire.
So, Faye's main character storyline is continuing with her removing John's photo picking out of everyone.
But
Pick me, I'm Faye.
I have to say that episode, like it started so well with
It was
Eamon's
just
plan.
chaos.
It was just chaos. I mean, I forgot I wrote down the conversation between Eamon and Paul D. You brought it up, did I? Yes. Well, it'll be good because I brought it up. That sums up the
And he even got
friendship.
something confused, like with someone. He said, I didn't say that. Yes, with Paddy. Who's Paddy? Patrick. Oh, yeah, I did. It's just like, oh. So, yeah. Wonderful television.
Eamon tried it was wonderful television. Sorry, it just reminded me. Eamon tried his best as well, didn't he? He tried to get Patrick on his side by saying, like, Patrick, I was saying to Paul D, I was going to, put your name out tonight. But the reason I was doing that is because I wanted to trap Paul D. So he was quite open with his plan against Paul D. And even Paul D was able to, it's just, oh my God.
You can't
just
kid a kidder.
No.
That's what they were trying to do.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
They were trying to do that and it didn't work.
Just Paul D, I don't know, I just can't believe like his story. This series should just be called The Paul D, because his story arc has just been outstanding from beginning to end.
We'll see if he's still in tomorrow in the next episode, won't we? So
I mean, he's
could
not
be
got long
Paul
for
D's
this series now. But, no. But oh God, honestly, I can't get Paul D out of my mind. Right. I think I love him.
Okay.
I do. I think I've fallen in love with Paudie and his just weird plan. I just want to know. I genuinely need to know. Paudie, if you listen to the podcast, or Andrew, can you ask your dad on our behalf? Was this Paudie's plan from the beginning? Was his plan to confuse himself and everyone else in the group so that he could just sail through to, well, seemingly episode 6?
You couldn't plan this. He's just going with the wind.
Yeah.
He's just going with it.
Paudie,
going with
wind
whatever.
waker.
He's working on his feet. No plan ahead, just plan at the time.
My brain just cannot compute.
Although
Paudie's
he's playing the game of, I'm going to say everything everyone has said to me, and I'm going to say it out to everyone, and that's been working-ish so far. So
I love him. I cannot wait for episode 6, and I'm glad that it's coming out today, and also that you guys can get in touch with us and let us know what you think Paudie's plan is here. Do you think Paudie has?
I think what they're going to do
mind?
is RTE is going to get a series together with Paudie and Andrew travelling Ireland in a camper van together to fix their relationship and show us the beautiful country of Ireland.
I'd watch that. For both reasons, because I want to see the relationship between Paul and Andrew.
Get those contracts ready, RTE.
Yep.
All right, so
we'll be there watching it. So yeah, let us know what you think the plan ahead now is for Nick. Will he accept the enrolment? Will Paudie and Caitlin ever build their friendship again? Is Andrew going to tell his dad to calm the heck down a little bit? Find us on our link tree, linktr.ee/faithful2, where you can comment underneath the video on Spotify and YouTube. You can also listen to us on any of your favourite podcast apps. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell and all that good stuff. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok. All the links on there is there as well on linktr.ee/faithful2. There's also a QR code at the bottom of the screen you can scan. And if you like the podcast and you want to help us monetarily, go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful or coff.ee/faithful, where on there you can give us £5 or as much as you like to give to help with the podcast and my future. I need therapy for watching this.
Well, just think of Andrew then. Right, so we'll see you tomorrow then for the last podcast of the week. Goodbye.